The Galactic Empire had long viewed itself as the ultimate authority in the galaxy. Its fleets spanned countless star systems, and its leaders believed no species could challenge its dominance. In their arrogance, they set their sights on a small, seemingly insignificant star system, the Sol System, home to humanity. For the Empire, it was just another expansion, another acquisition of resources to fuel its ever-growing appetite for power. The decision was made quickly, almost dismissively. Humanity was classified as a minor species, primitive in their technology compared to the Empire's vast arsenal. The Galactic Senate convened to formalize the move, with Grand Strategist Thalnox leading the charge. Thalnox, known for his ruthless efficiency, argued, "Why waste diplomacy on a species that barely understands the stars? They will fall in line, or they will burn." His words were met with applause, and the fleet was dispatched. The attack came without warning. A human colony on the edge of the Sol System became the Empire's first target. Orbital bombardments reduced entire cities to molten craters. Millions of lives were lost in mere hours. The Empire's ships descended like a storm, their weapons tearing through what little defenses the colony could muster. For the humans who survived, it was a nightmare. Broadcasts of the devastation reached Earth, showing images of burning landscapes and desperate pleas for help. But the Empire underestimated humanity's resilience. What they viewed as weakness was a species forged by adversity. Earth's leadership, united under the banner of the United Earth Council, convened immediately. Grief and anger filled the chamber as leaders watched the footage of the attack. Debates raged over how to respond. Some called for caution, fearing the Empire's overwhelming power. Others demanded vengeance. Amid the chaos, a voice cut through: Ambassador Jaxon Ward. Known for his calculated demeanor and razor-sharp intellect, Jaxon was no ordinary diplomat. He was a man who believed in the power of words but understood the necessity of force. "This was not an attack," Jaxon said, his tone cold and unyielding. "This was a declaration of war. If we do nothing, they will see us as prey. But if we respond, we show them what it means to challenge humanity." The council fell silent. Jaxon's reputation preceded him. When he spoke, people listened. He proposed a strategy, one that required patience, precision, and unshakable resolve. Humanity would not strike back blindly. Instead, they would confront the Empire on its own terms, using diplomacy as a weapon. Jaxon volunteered to lead the mission, knowing full well the danger. "They will expect us to beg," he said, a fire in his eyes. "But we will make them regret the day they underestimated us." As preparations began, humanity's grief turned to determination. The loss of the colony became a rallying cry. Across Earth and its remaining colonies, people stood united, their resolve unbroken. The Empire believed it had crushed a weak species, but in truth, it had awakened a force unlike any other, a force that would not rest until justice was served. Jaxon Ward's departure from Earth was met with a quiet tension. His mission wasn't just about words. It was a calculated move to assess the Empire's weaknesses while presenting humanity as a species not to be trifled with. The diplomatic vessel, sleek and unarmed, was a deliberate choice. It wasn't meant to intimidate, it was meant to provoke curiosity and unease. For a species the Empire had dismissed as primitive, humanity's confidence in sending a single envoy was unsettling. The journey to the Galactic Senate was uneventful on the surface, but aboard the ship, the preparation was meticulous. Jaxon and his team analyzed every aspect of the Empire's military and political structure. Intelligence gathered from long-range scans, intercepted communications, and historical records painted a picture of an empire bloated by its own success. It was powerful, yes, but also overconfident and plagued by internal divisions. Jaxon knew the Empire had expected no resistance from humanity. They saw Earth as just another acquisition, not a potential threat. That assumption would be their undoing. The key, Jaxon told his team, is to strike where they least expect. Not with weapons, but with truth. We expose their arrogance for what it is, a weakness. His words were deliberate, his tone measured. Everything about Jaxon radiated control, and his team drew strength from his certainty. When the vessel approached the Empire's capital world, the first reaction from Imperial forces was confusion. The unarmed ship transmitted a request for diplomatic entry, bearing no signs of aggression. The fleet commander hesitated before granting clearance, intrigued by the audacity. Jaxon's calm, professional demeanor during the brief communication gave no indication of the fury simmering beneath the surface. As the ship docked at the capital, the team disembarked into a world of towering spires, shimmering with wealth and power. Imperial citizens barely acknowledged the humans, their indifference a reflection of the Empire's arrogance. Jaxon, however, took it all in, every glance, every whisper, every assumption. It was a facade, he knew, masking fear. The Empire might control countless systems, but it feared the unpredictable, and humanity had become an unknown variable. Jaxon's request for an audience with the Galactic Senate was quickly granted. The Empire viewed the meeting as a formality, a chance to force humanity's submission. Grand Strategist Thalnox himself arranged to preside over the session, eager to assert dominance. "Let them grovel," he said to his aides. "It will serve as a reminder to all who would oppose us." But Jaxon wasn't there to grovel. Every step he took was calculated, every move a deliberate signal. He walked into the Senate chamber with his head held high, his expression unreadable. He made no apologies for his presence and no acknowledgement of the Empire's superiority. Instead, he met the cold stares of the senators with calm defiance. Humanity's message was clear before Jaxon even opened his mouth. They were not afraid. And when he did speak, it became clear the Empire had gravely miscalculated. The chamber fell silent as Jaxon Ward stood before the assembled Galactic Senate. The Imperial senators, draped in finery and seated in their elevated tiers, looked down on him as if he were an insect. At the center, Grand Strategist Thalnox leaned back with a smirk, confident this human would beg for mercy. Jaxon met their gazes, unflinching. "I stand here not as a petitioner," he began, his voice sharp and calm, "but as a representative of a species you have wronged. An unprovoked attack was launched on one of our colonies. Millions of innocent lives were lost. And for what? Resources? Territory? Or simply to remind the galaxy of your supposed supremacy?" The senators shifted uncomfortably, murmurs rippling through the chamber. Thalnox's smirk faltered for a moment, but he quickly regained his composure. "You speak of supremacy, human," he sneered, "yet you are here because you have no alternative. You seek peace because you cannot afford war." Jaxon allowed the words to hang in the air before replying. "You mistake restraint for weakness. Humanity does not crave war, but we do not fear it. You believe we came here to beg? No. We came to offer you a chance to avoid the consequences of your actions." The murmurs grew louder. Jaxon gestured to the display behind him, which activated to show intercepted Imperial transmissions. Clear evidence of premeditation, orders to annihilate the human colony, and discussions of humanity as a nuisance to be eradicated were laid bare for all to see. Gasps filled the room as the recordings played, the senators now fully aware of the magnitude of the Empire's crime. "You call us a nuisance," Jaxon continued, his tone unwavering, "yet you underestimated our capacity to endure, to adapt, and to fight back. Humanity has survived wars, plagues, and disasters on a scale you can't imagine. We've thrived despite every attempt to break us. And now, you've given us a reason to unite as never before." The tension in the chamber was palpable. Jaxon stepped closer to the central podium, his presence commanding. "We are not here to plead for our survival. We are here to show you that your actions have consequences. Humanity is prepared for war if necessary. Your attack didn't weaken us, it galvanized us." With a wave of his hand, Jaxon activated another display. This time, it showed humanity's fleet, advanced, coordinated, and far larger than the Empire had anticipated. The ships moved in precise formations, their capabilities clear even in silence. "This is what you failed to consider. We do not fight for conquest. We fight to protect what is ours. And if you force our hand, we will show you what it means to face a united humanity." Silence fell once more. Thalnox, visibly shaken, struggled to respond. Jaxon delivered his final statement, each word like a hammer striking steel. "We are offering you a choice, reparations and peace, or escalation and consequences. Choose wisely. Humanity does not start wars, but we end them." And with that, Jaxon stepped back, leaving the senators to confront the truth. They had made a grave mistake. The chamber remained in stunned silence long after Jaxon Ward's final words. The Galactic Senate, a body accustomed to issuing commands and receiving submission, now faced a choice it had never anticipated. For centuries, the Empire had operated on the assumption that its strength was unassailable, its authority unquestioned. But now, standing before them, was a representative of a species that had not only survived their aggression but had turned it into an opportunity to rise. Grand Strategist Thalnox, visibly agitated, stood and addressed the assembly. "This is a bluff," he declared, though his voice lacked its usual conviction. "Humans are posturing, nothing more. We could crush their fleets before they ever reached our borders." But the doubt in his words was clear, and even the senators who had supported him began to exchange wary glances. A moderate senator, one who had always advocated for diplomacy over domination, rose to speak. "Thalnox, if this is a bluff, then why does the human envoy stand unarmed in our chamber, showing no fear? Why do they possess evidence of our actions, evidence they could easily broadcast to the galaxy? If we proceed down this path, we may not only face the humans but lose the support of countless species who see this as a turning point." The murmurs grew louder, splitting the chamber into factions. Some senators still clung to their pride, unwilling to believe that humanity could pose a genuine threat. Others, however, saw the truth. The Empire was no longer facing a fragmented species but a united one that had endured and thrived under pressure. Jaxon remained silent, observing the division he had sown. The Empire's greatest strength, its size and arrogance, was also its greatest vulnerability. It was a machine too vast, too rigid, to respond effectively to an unexpected challenge. And humanity had become exactly that. Finally, the Senate Speaker called for a vote. The question was simple: should the Empire pursue reparations and peace, or escalate to war? The results were closer than Jaxon might have hoped, but in the end, reason prevailed. The motion for reparations passed, albeit narrowly, with Thalnox storming out of the chamber in fury. As the session adjourned, Jaxon and his team returned to their vessel. The terms of the agreement would take time to finalize, but the message had been delivered. Humanity was no longer a minor species to be dismissed. They had earned their place among the stars, not through conquest, but through sheer resilience and the ability to turn even the direst circumstances into a position of strength. Back aboard the ship, Jaxon allowed himself a moment of reflection. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly to his team. "The Empire may have agreed to peace, but they will never forget what happened here. Neither will we. What we do next will define humanity's role in the galaxy for generations." As the ship departed the capital world, messages from other species began to flood in, words of support, offers of alliance, and admiration for humanity's defiance. Jaxon knew the road ahead would be difficult. The Empire was weakened but not broken, and there would always be those who sought to challenge humanity's place. But for now, they had done what once seemed impossible. They had stood before the galaxy's greatest power and refused to bow. In the quiet of space, humanity's resolve burned brighter than ever, a testament to their unyielding spirit. The galaxy would never look at them the same way again.